Does anybody else feel like TV and movies just don't connect with us like they used to? It's not because of laziness, it's not because of companies wanting quantity over quality, it's because it's lacking something I like to call intertwining. Hi, my name is Cole Garcetti. I am the author of Serendipity, and today I am going to be going over my writing process. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, what the fuck is intertwining? Intertwining is the breadcrumbing of details throughout a story, stuff that is completely useless when looked at face value, but then when you come back to it later, it all makes sense somehow. There could be good intertwining, there could be bad intertwining, but intertwining as a whole is very important for storytelling. Now, without it, a story can still be a story, it just is a little more bland at certain times. Now, that's mainly to do with the type of media and type of movies we see today, where we're so used to big twists and big events that are happening that something has to mean something. Some stories are chronological, some stories are not chronological, but most of the time, authors do not have the whole thing planned out before the beginning. Now, we can argue over what the philosophy of the beginning of your story is or your writing process is, but I'll just show you how I start myself out. Now, when there's a story that I want to tell, the first thing I do is script it. And boy oh boy, is that difficult in the very beginning. Let's say you have an idea, something you've been festering on, something you've been thinking about a lot. The first thing you should do is write down all the details that you can in every moment that they come into your head. Have a notebook, write it in your phone, do whatever you can, and they can be completely unrelated to each other. They could be completely different stories from one another, these different ideas that are just rambling in your head, but you have to keep a log of them. You have to keep them organized so that you can be able to go back and use them later. This is key because in that moment of, oh, what the fuck do I do here? That's when you go back to your book and you look through all the things you wrote down, and I guarantee you there will be something there that'll work. Even as if it has nothing to do with anything. If it has absolutely nothing to do with anything, it could be in a different universe, it could make no sense for it to be there. Put it in. It will work. Let me give you an example with my own work here. So, throughout the book, I have the phrase, "You're lost, aren't you?" Now, right off the bat, means absolutely nothing. Could mean anything, doesn't make any sense. In fact, it's a monster that's whispering it into people's heads, so it really does mean nothing. But that's the point, because at the time when I wrote that, it did mean nothing. I just wrote out a sentence that just sounded creepy, and then you come back to it later and you're like, what does that mean? Then you start to think about it, you start to fantasize about it, and the more you start to have the gears turn in your head, then one day it just clicks with something and it just works. That clicking would not have happened if you had not just written gibberish on your page. You need to get from the room you're currently in, where you have nothing written, and into that first door. That first door being the first page done, or the first word done, or the first sentence. Once you're through that first door, now you're looking at it from a different perspective. Now you're looking at it, oh, I have "You're lost, aren't you" as the first sentence. That's where I'm starting from. I'm no longer starting from nothing. The doorway has been opened. There's a new path in front of me. I can start off from a different perspective. Now, I don't want to take up too much time here, so if you want to hear more, like and follow, and I'll make part 2 of the process.